Hi, this is Ken Jones for JoneZy's Rock Reports for Ion Indie Magazine, and we're here with Sucker, one of NEPA's greatest original bands in the area, and we're going to talk to them today about a couple of different things. First off, how about introducing yourselves and telling us what you do in the band?
I'm Rob Helm and I play drums.
Candy B, bass vocals.
Steve Dupac, guitar.
Okay, so let's go with the obvious question that a lot of people probably want to know. The name, Sucker, where did you come up with it? Does it have any significant meaning to you?
Sucker is a dirty word for a lollipop. And a lollipop is like a benign symbol of everything that's like decadent and, like sex and drugs and rock and roll without saying sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And it's something cool to build like a whole brand around. Like we throw lollipops out during our set and stuff. It kind of keeps it like playful, but still kind of sinful too.
Okay.
Yeah.
This version of Sucker has only been together a relatively short period of time. You were telling me about how Steven has only been in the band since February, correct?
February.
And Rob just joined, and you're already extremely tight, because I witnessed the show myself, and I couldn't believe that it was a very young version of this band. Yeah. Now, you've been around, though, since what year?
2010, you can call it. The year we established ourselves, yeah.
Right.
But it's been kind of a crazy up and down 4 or 5 years, so we haven't been totally active that entire time.
Right. Now, in Steve's case, you had to replace kind of a legend in this area with Jansen.
That's right.
And let me ask you, how did you feel about that? Those are some pretty big shoes to fill.
It was a little nerve-wracking at first, and ended up playing at the Rattler for, the Heartbreak Ball? Mm-hmm. And a good friend of ours, Chuck Silsby, he was there, and I was kind of venting a little bit about it, and I told him, I was like, man, I heard that the old guitar player is going to be here, and I didn't know who he was at the time, and he's like, oh, he's right over here. So I just kind of broke the ice real quick, and he was very cool and collective about it. I was freaking out on the other hand, and it turned out great. He liked what he heard, and taking it like that.
Right.
Yeah, Jansen's a really cool guy. Like he even actually helped Steve. Like they got together a couple times, just show him some of the parts, in the songs to make sure that he would be ready in time to play the shows that we had coming up. So.
Oh, that's really cool because you don't see that a lot.
No, Jansen.
And that's very unusual.
He's
but
a great guy.
yeah, I just interviewed the Mess, and Jansen spoke very highly of you and his time with Sucker. Like it was just he was so involved in so many different projects that. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he likes to play in like lots of different bands. He likes to try a little bit of everything, change it up every once in a while. So.
Right.
He was pretty hell bent on spending more time playing keyboards. So. Right. That's what he's doing in the Mess now.
Right, the keyboards and the violin.
And he's equally good on the keyboards as he is guitar.
Yeah, I know, right. So, Rob, what's your feelings now that you're part of Sucker? Like, is that a departure for you, musically speaking, like style-wise, genre?
No, not at all. It's rock and roll. I like playing rock and roll, and that's what I'm about. When I came up to jam with him, kind of just was natural.
Right.
There's a couple things here or there I had to learn, because there was a lot of music written that I didn't really know it, but.
Yeah, but you walked in and sat right down and we started playing. It was awesome. Perfect.
That worked out very good for you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you were definitely in a bind, and you found the right guy. That's another thing that doesn't happen too often.
I know. It's very hard to find musicians, to play with. It's hard keeping a band together. So it was awesome that we actually found you, because I was worried that, it was going to take a lot longer to fill that spot. Me and Steve had an acoustic set together and everything. Luckily, we only had to do it twice.
Right. Okay, that brings up another question. We'll segue right into that. You're a part of the Idol Kings, who tour constantly, and you're also part of an acoustic duo, See You Next Tuesday. And how does that, factor into Sucker? Like, there's got to be trouble there, like on scheduling occasionally. How do you deal with that?
There are scheduling issues, unfortunately. Certain gigs and certain bands have to take, precedence over others. It's very stressful, but I have to to spend the amount of time that I have to spend making sure Sucker gets to where it needs to be, especially like with all of the obstacles I've had along the way, I need pretty much the amount of time I would spend in a full-time job to keep this shit together. Like I do everything myself. So if I didn't have those bands where I can go out and make, you know, a couple $100s within a few hours span, or do my work, you know, on the weekends, like, you know, just from Friday to Sunday, and then have my days free, I don't think Sucker would be able to exist the way that I wanted to. I would never be able to invest the amount of time that I need to hopefully get it to the point that, you know, I want it to be at. You know, I'm just trying to grow it and grow it and grow it and see how far I can go. But you need a lot of time to do it. So I need both of those bands. I know a time is going to come where I'm going to have to make a choice, but at this point, it's worked out so that I can keep all of them and keep a constant flow of income and, you know, gain experience with the Idol Kings and have the free time that I need to spend on Sucker.
That seems to be really common with the bands I've been working with since I've been with Ion. People have been in multiple projects. I mean, when we talk to the Mess, wow, I mean, you've got 3 entirely different bands from that group, you know, and it works good for them sometimes where they help each other with opening and stuff like that, but then it also becomes a problem when it comes to book.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's been working well for them, and, you know,
Yeah.
it's definitely working well for you so far.
Yeah, and when you're a musician, that's what you want to do. Like, there's a drive. If you're very serious about it, it's not something you do casually, you know, as a hobby. If it's something that you're really trying to do, the thought of, you know, spending any time away from it to work for somebody else, you know, or for somebody else's goal is kind of hard to cope with, you know, so you have to find ways to keep yourself going, you know, on your own terms, you know, as a musician.
You gotta keep on trucking.
You gotta keep on trucking. I know I would not be able to be alright with doing something else and then having to do, you know, the music thing on the side, you know, sacrifice any time. I thought, you know, I was gonna maybe go down that route a couple times, and every time I always abandoned what I was doing originally to come back to play music. It's not even a choice. It has to be done.
Okay, let's talk about the indie scene. You guys are all independent, right? You're taking care of everything. You're running the whole show, right?
Everything.
When it comes to recording everything, are you doing that too, or?
We'll go to a studio when the time comes. We don't do any of the recording ourselves. I wish that I had that knowledge. It would definitely be a lot easier, you know, financially. But no, we usually hire a studio.
Okay, and in the past, you've got an EP in the past and a full-length CD, right?
Yes.
And you're currently working on a second one?
We are working on a second one. I think after the release of the full length, we'll probably continue to do smaller collections of songs, maybe 3 to 5 song EPs, you know, just so there's something, you know, constantly new available to everyone, and we're not holding it back, waiting for one big release.
Let's talk about influences and, you know, where you know, get your style from as a musician personally. We'll start with you.
With me?
Yeah, with you.
Alright. Influences. Oh, music-wise?
Music-wise, drum-wise.
Drum-wise?
Because I know you also play bass, so if you want to throw in.
I pretty much love all music, and it might sound like something that a lot of people say, but I listen from rap to classical music. I grew up on like Frank Zappa, stuff like that, like just all different types of music. I love Dr. Hook, Led Zeppelin, things like that. I had a older cousin that was my drum teacher when I was little, and taught me some things, and then I don't know, kind of just took off from there. I just listened to a lot of music I loved and played it, and started playing in bands, and you know.
No one particular drummer from one particular band that maybe like stood out that you found yourself emulating in the beginning and then, you know, modified to your own style?
I really love like Bottom's style, and I don't know, I was always a big fan of Rush, as every drummer. You know,
Right.
I love Neil Peart, you know.
Definitely.
But yeah, anybody that's really good and that's I like is an influence to me, you know.
Okay.
Even I go to other shows and I watch other drummers, and that's I suck that all in.
Right.
I watch and I jam out right with them watching them, you know, and I pick a lot of things up that way too. We're like, oh wait, oh wow, I did that there, and oh, I'm gonna try that, you know. But yeah, I love playing the drums, bass. I like playing. I play guitar too, and I don't know. My passion's hitting shit.
Right.
You know. So that's what I'm gonna do as much as I can.
So drums are first and foremost for you, right? Okay, Candy, bass, vocals?
He serenades us in here with the acoustic guitar when we're waiting for practice,
Oh, yeah?
like all the time. Oh, yeah.
I'll have to set a GoPro up secretly so we can throw that in a video someday.
The stuff I like to listen to is pretty much a whole lot of hair metal. I like that stuff a lot, but I like tons of classic rock. Not so much a lot of the newer rock, but older rock and roll is good. But I don't play anything like anything that I listen to. Like people always ask me who's your biggest influence, like musically, or who's your favorite bass player, and my crappy answer is Nikki Sixx, who's like, he doesn't. I just saw their concert and like one hand's free the whole time, so he's not really a technical influence of mine at all. I just always like.
He can though. If you've listened to the other band, 6 AM, he can play.
Oh,
He just doesn't too often.
But I liked that he was the driving force a lot of the times. He was the bass player that wrote the songs and made everybody get their shit together. Like everybody might have been partying around him, and he might have been partaking as well, but he was still sitting there, like with a bass in his hand, working on something. And that's how I spent a lot of my earlier, like 20s, doing stuff like that. Sitting around partying, but I always had a bass in my hand. I didn't actually start playing until I was 19 and a half and quit college to play music. But all I did from that point on was just, I spent a year with bass in my hand and taught myself. So I don't know, I learned a lot like from books and everything instead of really like listening. All the listening I had done when I made, I came up with my favorite bands was before I had any ear whatsoever and, knew what was going on. But I love pretty much any music live. It doesn't matter if it's normally a genre that I would be, listening to on a CD. There's just something about seeing people perform it. I can always get into it. I like live music a lot.
Okay. Steven, how about you?
Let's see. I started playing when I was 9, took lessons for like 4 years, and Richie Sambora was the first one who made me want to pick up a guitar, hence the talk box, I guess. And then just little tidbits of things here and there. Slash, Eddie Van Halen. Not so much Jimmy Page, although I do like Zeppelin, but guitar-wise never really inspired me to do something this way or do something another way. A lot of it was hair metal, like early 2000s, like heavy metal, like Iced Earth.
You guys are too young for the hair metal.
Love this
I
shit.
understand the hair metal, but...
Me and Steve get wasted and fucking, oh my god. We just had an epic Guns N' Roses breakout in my kitchen the other night. I had an impromptu Sunday night party. And I don't know at what point of the night it was, because I was definitely really drunk. But everybody just stopped what they were doing and started singing Night Train. That was pretty
We pretty much
awesome.
went through the entire Appetite album,
Oh, yeah.
just balls to the wall, screaming it, trying to hit everything that Axl could.
Right.
There's nothing like a room full of drunk people trying to hit an epic high note. Axl Rose or otherwise.
Okay,
Do you remember, did you ever, when I Believe in a Thing Called Love was big?
Yeah.
And they would play it in the bars all the time. Everybody's wasted, like in between the bands, it's playing like on the set break. And all of the drunks just try to hit that note. It's the best thing ever. I love that.
all right, let's talk about some past gigs. You've had some notoriety in the past for the big JoneZy's show
yes,
that
the big
you
show.
opened up for and
Big show.
stole the show.
No, that was really surprising actually. I think they were hesitant. I'm not sure. Might be putting words in someone's mouth. I think they were hesitant to have an original band actually win the contest and open or play with JoneZy's. So they put us on at, I don't know, it was like the 7:30 slot. It was the first out of the night, and it was on the side stage. They were rotating stages back and forth. And I wasn't totally sure what to expect. I thought it was really cool, and then I got to see JoneZy's do a sound check. That was awesome. You know, I had my laminate on like I was special or something. But it was Steve's like third show with us.
Yeah, I was freaking out.
Yeah, you know.
Right.
And I didn't know what to expect, so I was like, oh well, we'll see. And by the time we played, I could not believe the sea of people that were there. You know, for that set at that time, I did not expect that. And they all stayed and they all watched. A lot of the rest of the night, you know, they were in and out drinking, you know, kind of paying attention to what was going on. Of course, except for when JoneZy's went on, and everybody was paying attention. But I expected it to be more like, oh, here's a band opening, you know, we're gonna go get our drinks, we're gonna go smoke a cigarette. Oh, hey, listen, how cool, you know, whatever. Still walk by. But no, they all stayed and they watched. They really liked it. I was very surprised with how long we held everybody. There were a lot of freaking people. The crowd was really, really deep.
Very, yeah.
I don't know. It was good. It was nice. It was nice to get, you know, exposure for my original music on that level. That was cool. So the hope is to keep getting shows like that. You know, that's the ultimate goal. Especially once you get a taste for something like that, you just want more and to get bigger and bigger.
You have a show coming up this weekend, right, with Blame Shift.
Yeah.
And by the time this airs, it will already have happened, but how do you feel
And
about
hopefully it was awesome.
that?
I'm kind of relieved actually because I filled that weekend last minute. I wanted to get a gig together. I figured the factory is cool just because it has like traffic and stuff. Even if it was a last minute gig, we would probably have some people there. But I was having a hard time on such short notice finding other bands to play. So when they wound up getting that Flame Shift show together, it was nice to just be able to switch it to the next night, and we're gonna close the night out. But now we don't really have to worry about putting the show together.
Oh, you're closing tonight. You're
Right.
headlining the show.
Well, yeah, it's their, I guess.
It's their show, but
staples
right.
in there.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, so we're just gonna close the night out. Be cool. Very nice.
How do you feel about that, Steve? Like another pretty major act. I mean, they're up and coming, and they
Sounds
just
good.
jumped off Warped Tour.
I listened. I heard they were on tour with Saliva, I think it was, and I checked out a couple of their stuff on iTunes. It had like kind of had like a Paramore kind of feel, like Lacuna Coil a little bit. It sounded pretty good. I'm pretty excited to see what they're all about, and then get a chance to share a stage with another national act.
Right.
It's nice playing with new bands, just to see what else is out there. It's unbelievable, like the amount of talent that you don't even know exists. Seriously, it's so hard to uncover because there's not a lot of people like pushing it. But when you do stumble upon it, like I found this band based out of Alabama called Rearview Ghost that I just randomly found that I really like a lot. But I would never hear that on the radio. There's quite a handful of specifically female-fronted bands
Right.
that I really like that not a lot of people really know about, but I prefer to listen to over anything that I would have heard if I tuned into local rock radio.
Okay, well that brings up a good point. For us, for Ion Indie Magazine, we have a lot of indie radio stations. We'll be submitting your MP3s to these stations, and we found some of the best music in the country is not signed acts. Like since we've been associated with Ion, and even before that, previously, I was blown away at the talent that's out there. Carol's doing an interview on
Edge of Paradise.
Edge of Paradise, right? And they're phenomenal. Another female-fronted band that I'm sure you'd love. And they've got tons of likes on their Facebook page and stuff like that. But like when you consider national level, I guess they're not yet, but they should be. They're better than mostly anything I listen to.
That's what I was saying. Like a lot of the stuff that I listen to, is older. It doesn't sound a lot like the newer stuff that's coming out. So it kind of gets stale. Like you've heard all the stuff that you like. It's hard to discover new music, But then you go digging into this whole the whole indie thing that now is accessible, thankfully with the internet and everything. But now I'm finding newer music, that was created this year that has a little bit of a fresh spin. That's more, tailored to my musical palette. Like it sounds like something that could have come out of that time, but it's it's fresher and it's not the same CD I've been listening to since 5th grade,
Right.
So it's nice. It's very nice.
Now for the Blame Shift show, this will be your first time at the band where you're opening or sharing the stage rather with a national act. I don't see you as being nervous about that at all. Am I correct?
I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna rock out.
Right.
You know, I try that every time.
Mm.
You know? I love sharing the stage with all the different bands that I've ever shared the stage with. It's an honor every time.
Right.
And get to share with someone at that, you know, level it's pretty cool. You know, it doesn't have my panties in a twist, but I think it's pretty cool.
Right.
I'm gonna enjoy it. You know?
Okay, so coming up next month, I believe, is the Electric City Music Conference.
Yes, sir.
And for this area, that's got to be one of the biggest things that's ever happened, especially when in regards to indie original music. So, what are you feeling about the entire thing, and where are you guys going to be playing for that?
We are going to be playing at the Irish Wolf Pub with Skin and Bones. There are some other bands in the bill, but Skin and Bones is the only band that I know I've personally worked with before. We're playing on Sunday, which is good because I have gigs on Friday and Saturday. Well, Friday actually is the awards, so everybody that's in a band ever has to cancel all their gigs for that night, and everybody's going to be down at the same bar to get their awards. So. And
right now, for the awards, you're nominated for Best Female Vocalist in a band. So,
yes.
And you're also nominated in your duo.
Yeah, and the Idol Kings.
And the Idol Kings,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah, I don't like the voting thing, and I don't like the competitive thing in bands, you know, being pitted against bands. I know that wasn't their intention at all. Like it even says, like, disclaimer, it's not intended to create competition. And everybody's been pretty, you know, friendly about it so far. I just really, I hate asking people to vote constantly, like do this. I feel like I'm spamming people. Like just today I put up a post on Facebook that I use an invite all script whenever we do event pages, just because it's easier than me spending 2 hours clicking each individual name, and I like literally lose sleep, like, oh my god, am I an asshole, because I hit an invite all button, you know. So I really do hate asking people to vote. But the good thing about this particular competition is that the voting only counts for 1/6, I think, of the overall, though there's a panel that gets to sit and decide. You know, I'm not sure what, you know, their criteria is going to be for picking a winner, but, you know, I trust the panel. It's cool. It's nice that finally people are noticing that this stuff exists around here. Like this kind of music is here, and people are actually taking an interest. Like you can expect to see bodies in a club when an original band is playing, other than the other bands that are playing, which was what it was like pretty much when I started playing around here with Sucker. I don't know what it was like before that, but all of the bands have kind of come together and created, you know, a little scene now. Again, there's a reawakening and an awareness, and it's obvious when you see the names that are listed as nominees for this award ceremony. I think it's pretty amazing that my name finally even made it on one of these friggin' lists. I swear to God, I don't even care if I win or not. I was like, holy shit, finally, you know. And a lot of the artists on that list, I probably feel the same way, and I feel the same way about it. It's about time that the people that deserve some kind of recognition are getting it. You know, the people that are actually like making music, you know, whether they're trying to take it to a national level or they're just doing it because it's something that, you know, they need to do to express themselves, and they don't mind that it stays on a local level. It's nice that people actually give a shit, finally. Yeah.
Yeah. So how about like when we're talking about the indie scene here, things have definitely changed. I know 20 years ago, your dad was in a mega successful band in this area that was all original and packed the places.
All the bands drove.
Right.
So I hear, I wasn't there. Unfortunately, I missed all that.
Right, but compared to today, where you've got the hit and miss gig where it's packed and it's no fault of yours, it's just.
Right.
What do you think is the reason?
I have no idea. The cover band was popular around here for a very long time. Now it's, you know, kind of evening out, which is good. You know, there's the option of original music. I don't know. People do come out now more than they did, but very few bands like will pull that kind of crowd. I don't know if there are like too many bars, if people don't want to come out to see live music. They want to go see. I don't know if they want to go to a dance club. I have no idea. Maybe the atmosphere isn't right in some of the clubs. I have no idea. I don't. This isn't even a valid answer to any question. That.
Well, it's just your opinion. I'm
I have
asking.
no
Like, Stephen, do you
fucking
think
idea.
like social media plays a good? I know like social media plays a great role in promoting, but do you think maybe it hurts too when it comes to attendance because people can see so much of what you're doing? I mean, either there's a cell phone out there that took a video of yours, or you're promoting your own videos, whatever, you know, like professionally made ones. But it just seems with, you know, along with the economy, maybe people are using social media too much. Do you agree? Or?
I think it's a lot of things. Social media is definitely a double-edged sword. It gets you out there, gets your name out there. People get to, you know, look up your music, like Reverb Nation and stuff
Right.
like that. So, like say you just threw together like a quick 3-song EP or something, and quality wasn't that good and everything, and somebody listens to it, you know, they get an interest in it, but that quality of the audio or maybe the music itself just kind of turned them off, so they're gonna figure out why waste $5, you know, pay the cover, you know, to see if it's any better live.
Right.
Live is a totally different atmosphere, and I'd encourage a lot of people to come out and check it out. Not even just us, but anybody in the area. Being there and actually hearing it with your own ears and not through some headphones or some kind of online stream. It's different. It's got a lot of energy to it. I think it's great. I think people need to get off their butts and, you know, quit watching Game of Thrones and, you know, get a little
Yeah,
more
I
involved.
don't think the people are sitting home on Facebook instead of coming out to a show. But I don't.
Netflix is the enemy. Netflix is the true enemy.
That's true, and I've definitely gotten some pretty serious couch lock, you know, but sometimes you need to, like, go out. So, when you go out, like, where's everybody going? What are they doing? I'm really sure. I want to go see music, probably, if I'm going to go out, if I'm out riding water slides. Hopefully they have, like, somebody playing music while I'm riding the water slides. It's even better. But I don't know. But people do kind of come out now, which is pretty awesome.
I mean, it's definitely getting better. And just in the brief time that we've been back in the scene, we've noticed. I mean, we saw some bands play to no one, and now they're playing to.
There are more venues that are, you know, accepting original bands. They're letting them play. Where before they wouldn't even consider it, not for a freaking second.
All right. Well, what do you think of the 18 plus or all ages shows? They're usually a big draw.
Yeah, and kids don't have anywhere to go. It really sucks. One of, at least locally, one of the only underage venues that was left is closed. I know there's another one opening, but there's only one to go to, seriously. So, you know, kids that are interested in going to shows, that's where they're going to go. So it's nice, you know, for them to have an option every once in a while to go see a show. We don't really play the underage clubs or anything because we never really had an opportunity to gain an underage following. When we
Because they don't have beer there.
they don't have beer there, we can't hang. No, by the time soccer started, we were 21. A lot of the times, I know now they'll let like 18-year-olds and stuff, they can come in and they can play their set and then they have to leave. But that was an issue. I remember when we first started. Actually, soccer's first drummer was like 16, so we really couldn't just play. We couldn't just go out and book shows. Like, we had to get certain venues to agree to it if we're having to play. But the underage shows are pretty cool. I know that factory show that we're gonna play is 18 plus, so maybe that'll give us an opportunity to play for some younger people that really wouldn't have been able to see us because we only play bars, and we've only been playing bars, so none of the younger kids really know we exist.
So, in your experience now, what would you classify as your best experience as a band? Let's go with you first. Like, through all incarnations of soccer, what was, you know, the best time you had at a show?
Oh, well, that John Jack show really took the cake. I've played for some pretty big audiences before, but it was always with my tribute band. And every time I would play those shows, it was always really bittersweet, because it was like, wow, I can't believe I'm actually in a band that takes me seriously enough to put me in front of, this large amount of people, and I can't believe that I'm actually keeping my shit together enough to be able to perform to like an audience of this size. But it was like, but shit, I really wish that I was playing my own music right now, and I wasn't just, in a tribute band. So when we played that JoneZy's show, and there was actually like an audience comparable to some of the audiences that I played with at, with the Idol Kings, that was like, holy shit. The whole time, I was kind of like on the verge of crying and laughing, and I'm not really sure, like I was just gonna explode from like crazy emotions the entire time I was up there. It was very gratifying. And actually, a couple of my songs are kind of about that particularly, like the struggle of deciding to be a musician and trying to get your stuff heard and not wanting to give up, the standard, I'm a musician, I'm gonna write a song about being a musician song. It's kind of like crazy to sing those words and like be, kind of in that moment in time that you were like kind of singing about. It's kind of hard to not emote so much that you could, you can't even sing. That's happened to me like maybe 3 times on stage before while I was singing one of those songs and like had to hold the shit back so I can actually get through the song. It's crazy. Music is really powerful. You forget sometimes, especially when you're in the business of like, oh, I got the show, I gotta tell everybody about the show, me, pay attention to me. Like, I swear to God, that's what it feels like a lot of the time when you're on like the promotional end of being a musician. Everything is about you and what you were doing. But you forget that there's a reason why people, get to that point, like people flock around musicians. There's something really powerful about it, and whether or not you can make it, you're still drawn to it. Like, you forget when you're constantly like, pay attention, you feel like it's annoying. It's that aside, like there's a reason why you were drawn to making it in the first place, and the reason why there's an audience, for any musician. And that's illustrated to me every time we have a rehearsal up here. Our rehearsal space is right there. We're on a corner that has a lot of foot traffic. Whether the garage door is open or not, people will stop what they're doing, like on their way to wherever they're going, and they'll stop and they'll listen. And they're like smiling the whole time. I'm like, wow, you forget that you're really communicating with someone like on a completely like different, like primal level.
It's magical.
It freaking is, dude. It really is. It's fucking crazy. And you forget, because it turns into this big shitstorm of nightmare fucking business, and you forget like what the whole thing is revolving around to begin with. Music, which is like this whole other language, that people that would normally fucking hate one another can get along over.
Right.
Yeah.
I would assume the JoneZy's show would be yours too.
As nerve-wracking as it was, yes, but there's been a couple impromptu shows that we've done that are kind of like, I don't really know what the word I'm looking for is, but it's like kind of like a self-test for yourself. Like nobody specifically came to see you play, but like at the factory we did an open mic night, and we came out and Rob only knew a few sons, so it was just
we knew each other for like 6 days.
We just threw it together.
You know what though? The good thing about that though was we met, did the audition, and then we didn't do anything but hang out for those 6 days. So kind of like got acclimated pretty fast. But go ahead, whatever you were saying.
It kind of takes you to like a different level of being there and not having the I have to put on a show aspect because everybody's here, to see whoever. It was just we're just 3 normal people living around Scranton. We're gonna get together, we're gonna jam,
We're gonna eat some fucking chicken, drink some beer.
some cheeseburgers and
There were
beer.
no cheeseburgers there, that's chicken. Chicken and tater tot.
But those shows were the most fun for me because I can let loose. I don't have to worry about, am I standing too still? Am I not moving around enough? Am I too loud? Am I too low?
Right.
Stuff like that. It was just a
Does
let
my butt
loose.
look okay?
Yeah, does my butt look alright? My hair look okay? It
Well,
lets
you're
you
standing in
it
front
lets
of
you
the fan,
experiment with
yeah.
different things, like no harm, no foul kind of thing, and you can just kind of see where it goes. And
You gotta bring the fan everywhere.
Everywhere you go,
No
there's a
shots
little bitty
for-
fan.
just to just to close out, just the fact that people were still enjoying us trying out different things or trying to play a cover that we never really played together as a band.
Many never played covers that played that night.
There were a couple. It was different. Like, yeah, the JoneZy's show was great, but the other ones too, they all have their like own little special spot, depending on who's there or how you played personally. So.
Right. How about you? You've only done a few shows so far, but what would you say was the highlight for you?
Cheeseburgers.
Cheeseburgers.
Cheeseburger night? Which show was that?
Oh wait, yeah. No,
At Diane's they had good pizza.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
I had a cheesesteak, I think, too. That was pretty good. Oh, I had the peppers on it. The
Yeah.
onions. Oh.
That would have been my
Pounded
highlight.
it. Pounded it. I like Steve. I don't want to go with him on that one. That was fun. I had a lot of fun playing that surprise out of nowhere show. Did shot from the hip. It was great. I enjoyed that. I enjoy everything I do. You know, and I like playing with these guys a lot. I like jamming out with them. And you know, when you're doing something you like, you're gonna be having a good day. You know.
Right.
I like having good days. You don't want a bad day. They're not good.
You don't root for bad days?
No, they're not good.
Well, that brings up the follow-up. What was your worst moment? There's got to be something, that cliche Spinal Tap moment.
My second show I ever did with
Sorry,
Sucker
Billy.
at Irish Wolf Pub. Our drummer at the time
It
was in.
was very bad. He was not feeling well that day, and he could not play the set. So we had to have him leave the stage pretty much and go home and get some rest. We had to pack his drum kit and everything for him. He was definitely in rough shape.
We played 4 or 5 more songs without drums, and then Krog came up and did a little boom tap for us, and I had a couple old friends from high school that I haven't talked to in at least 6-7 years to come out, and I was really excited for that night, and that being my second show alone, just I had this ball of emotion. I was upset, I was angry, I was furious. It all just melded together and just mutated, and I mean, I got over it, but you gotta take those with a grain of salt. You know, stuff happens.
I've had so many bad moments on stage in every band I've ever been in ever, that when like Steve gets unplugged and shit and he gets all frazzled over it, that's why I just look over at him and I shake my head and I just keep playing, because it's really not that big of a deal, like, at all. You get used to it, but you forget how frazzled you get. Like the first time you make one like little 2-second mistake, and out of a 3.5-minute song, the only thing you remember is like that one beat that you completely fucked up. That sucks. So yeah, I don't care anymore.
Frazzle dazzle.
There's that one that stands
Oh
out.
my
though.
god, there's so fucking many. There was one really bad one with Sucker, with the last incarnation of this band, when Jansen and Tim were in the band. It was probably like our 4th show that we played with Tim and with the songs that were off of the On My Love EP that me and Jansen wrote. We were going to play Benefit, and I was still really uncomfortable playing the new songs and singing. So I was a little, I don't know, spooked before we were going to play anyway. And we were supposed to go on at 5 o'clock, and we didn't wind up going on until like 11:30. And we were there from probably like noon, because my duo played the same show. So I wound up getting tanked, like completely tanked. And we went on, because there was like nobody, everybody was leaving. The place was packed at the time that we were supposed to play, but it was totally dead by the time we went on. So we played one song, it sounded awful to me, I'm sure I fucked it up. And then we went to go play the next song, but I kept playing the last song. Like I started the song that we had played before that song again. And I'm looking around like, this doesn't sound right. And Jansen's looking at me, shaking his head like, no. And I'm like, oh fuck. And I stopped in the middle of the song and I'm like, you know what? I'm drunk. can't do this. Play one more song, we're done. That's what we did. One more song. That was pretty awful. But that was like one of a gazillion. Yeah, it didn't fucking matter. Fuck it. I felt bad about that for a while, and then, yeah, whatever. I don't care.
The good outweighs the bad eventually, right?
Yeah, I've had to drop my guitar in the middle of a set before because I've had to pee really bad on multiple occasions. That's never fun.
Well, that's better than just doing it on stage. There's been pictures
No,
of that.
no,
of
because
other people.
that almost fucking happened once.
I shit my pants.
No,
I'm waiting
I was
for that one. I shit all over the stage.
Forever.
There was shit everywhere. Couldn't even get that smell off the end for weeks.
No, but I was drinking. So by the third set, I had to pee, and no, shit. I would not tell that story like ever. And I had to pee really bad, and I did. I left in the middle of the set, and I ran to the porta potty. And I don't know what the hell those guys did while I was gone. Because we were like a three-piece, and I was playing bass, and I was the singer. And then I came back, and we played some more, and I had to piss again by the end of the set. And it was like it was our last song, which I played atrociously because I had to pee really bad. And then I just like dropped my bass, and I ran behind a car, and I pissed there because we were outside. And I thought about it later, and I was like, wow. A lot of people probably saw me do that. Like everybody that was standing there, watching the show, probably saw me do
No.
that. I had
Cell
pissed,
phone
though. There
vid
was,
never
like-
showed up, right?
No, but at least I
Some
didn't
red
piss.
tube
At least I
somewhere.
didn't piss myself like on the stage. So I mean, there's that.
Yeah.
There's that.
I almost fell off a stage once when I was playing. And I guess the seat was moving back as I was playing. And I caught myself, but I sprained my ankle real bad. And I finished the show, and I couldn't walk right for like a while. It was just bad. It was all purple and shit,
At least you didn't shit yourself though, right?
Oh yeah.
And sprain your ankle. You good with that one?
Yes.
All right.
That's what I meant.
For the moonlight, we don't play nice when the rough falls. Never seem to get anything. If the bottle, if the pension, if the right spot, want you in me. Show me nasty, and I'll show you me. You're aching, and I'm taking. I'm here to give you what you want. A little heaven in the dark. But you're eating, so I'm feeling. I put a little venom in your mind, and now I'm gonna make you mine. Got my daddy at the bedside. I don't waste time when you're on my mind. 'Cause I'm ready, and I want it now. In the bedroom, in the bathroom, in the shower, when your face goes, there's no telling where we'll go down. Yeah, you're aching, and I'm taking. I'm here to give you what you want. A little heaven in the dark. It's ready, so I'm thinking I put a little down.